Chapcast. Hello, people. How you doing? Okay, peeps. So we have reached July. Nice. Okay, so this month's episode is going to be all about when I tried to get back in a band. So I'm doing this solo thing, like, and I'm playing loads of acoustic shows here and there, supporting different bands of mates that I know and stuff. And it does get lonely up there on the stage on your own. It does, you know what I mean? Like it's great because, you know what I mean, you make your mistakes and it's only you that you're letting down, you know what I mean? Sometimes in bands you make mistakes and then it's not nice for the others in the band. And the same goes for them. When they make mistakes, it's not nice for you. Yeah, so I mean, I was, do you know what I mean? I released an acoustic sort of album and I was just sort of, you know what I mean? I had a couple of good pals with me who sort of like done a bit of roadieing for me and also done a bit of recording and videoing things and stuff like that, and they used to come around with me wherever I was playing, but it's not quite the same as like when you're on the stage with the band, you know what I mean, and you like take a look back at the drummer and you do you know what I mean, give him a cheeky wink and then that's it, you're straight in. Yeah, so I was sitting in my home studio with my acoustic guitar trying to write the next tune. And I was just sitting there and I was thinking, I think even though like the bad experiences that the other bands have brought me, you know what I mean, like by just trying and people letting you down and it's just a nightmare, you know what I mean? And it's just like, why do I need to have these people let me down? I'll just do it on my own, because it's not the same, you know what I mean? When you're up there with a drummer and a bass player and a proper guitarist, you know what I mean? It's just like, do you know what I mean? It's like your little firm and it's your firm against the world, and yeah, it's top. But yeah, so I was sitting in my studio and I was thinking to myself, it's gonna be really hard work to start a new band with a new name and do you know what I mean? Like start setting up all the social media stuff and all that. And I was like half and half whether I was going to do it or not. But then I thought to myself, why don't I start the John Chapman band? And basically it's still sort of me solo in a way, but it's not, because I'm going to have other musicians on the stage with me. And whoever it is that comes with me will be treated very nicely and credited for all of their hard workings. Yeah, no. So I thought to myself, right, if you need musicians first of all, so let's get onto Gumtree and let's have a little look and see what's about, you know what I mean, and so I was there messaging various people, you know what I mean? And a couple of the people that I was speaking with in the early days, you know what I mean? You're like, okay, yeah, let's meet, blah, 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 at this pub or whatever. And do you know what I mean? And where I'm blind and that, obviously, like in the early days, I didn't even accept using a cane. And like, so I needed a hand, do you know what I mean? And I have to say that my good friend, Des Jones, he helped me out loads. Do you know what I mean? Like I tried my best to get him into all the gigs for free and get him free drinks and things like that. You know what I mean? And also like just sort him out when I could or whatever. But he was my mate. You know what I mean? Like he was my mate. Sadly, he's moved to Norwich now, so he's like a couple of hours up the road. Do you know what I mean? So I do usually see him like in the summer, because I usually take my kids and my wife up to Great Yarmouth for a week each year, you know what I mean? And like visiting a Haven caravan site or something. Um, and and because obviously I'm just down the road from where he lives, then we meet up and have a beer on the pier, and just chat about all the mad old times and stuff that we used to, all the stuff we used to get up to, you know what I mean, like going around playing gigs and yeah, mental. But yeah. So I thought to myself, yeah, it's time to start a band, but it's not a band. It's the John Chapman band. Do you know what I mean? Because then I thought to myself, if you do 5 gigs and then the lead guitarist says, oh, I'm not feeling it, you know what I mean, I'm off. You say, all right, sweet. And then you get another guitarist, and until you get the guitarist, you just carry on playing acoustic. You know what I mean? Like, and if the other members that you've got in the band at the time can fit into an acoustic set, you do that. You know what I mean? But yeah. So anyway, yeah, I had a couple of people interested on Gumtree and that, and then meet me in this pub, that pub, or whatever. So I went to meet these people, and there was no show. No one turned up. So you know what I mean? You end up just getting drunk in the pub. But I thought to myself, this is hard work again, like, because the people not turning up just shows you that, you know what I mean, it's mad. It's like when I had my school band, the Voice, the early Voice, you know what I mean, like I would have loved that band to have got signed, and do you know what I mean, because they was my mates from when we was young and that, and in school together, me, Matty Benson, Josh Wilson, Amon, do you know what I mean, like, and well, Jamie Nicholas, and even Dave Grunberg, even though he didn't go to our school, you know what I mean, he was our little pal as well. But yeah, so I thought to myself, I can't do this. The people ain't going to turn up. They're just not on it. You know what I mean? Like Sonic. But then I thought, all right, I'm going to try again. So again, searched on Gumtree, and I found this guitarist. His name was Paul Hamill. And we're chatting away or whatever. And then we were organised to meet. Can't even remember where we met or whatever, but he actually turned up. Now we're sitting there chatting away about this and that or whatever, and I can see that he's not fully. Do you know what I mean? He's not fully like into the stuff that I'm into. You know what I mean? But I thought, do you know what I mean? This is about the playing. You know what I mean? This is about the sound you can make from your instrument. You know what I mean? Like, I weren't like young guy trying to get signed, you know what I mean, in some like where you all have to look the same and all that, do you know what I mean? I just thought to myself, you know what I mean, the band can just look whatever they want as long as they can play their instruments, you know what I mean, and I'm just going to be at the front of it, fronting the whole thing, you know what I mean? So yeah, chatted away to him and that, and then organised to meet him a couple of days later in my mum's house, like my old girl was at work. You know what I mean? So yeah, met Paul. He came round, like he was from East London, like over Walthamstow way, Black Horse Road, down that way. And handily enough, the old train line runs from like where he lives right to Gospel Oak, you know what I mean, in Kentish Town. So it was easy to get him to get over to me and that, whatever. So anyway, so he's turned up and he's got his guitar with him, and I've already like sort of set my acoustic up and things in the front room and that, and an amp for him to use and that. And so we start to muck about. I'm showing him some songs and that, and then he sort of said to me like, "Oh well, I know blah 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 blah," and I was like, "You know what?" And he's like, yeah, I got your album, and I've been learning it at home. And I was like, yeah, but serious? And he's like, yeah. He's like, let's play blah blah blah, and then I'll see what I can like put over the top of it. And I was like, all right, sweet. So we started going through a couple of the tunes, you know what I mean? Black Blanket, um, Amstead Heath, Take Me Back, anything that was on the Little Green Street album, you know what I mean? Like we was going through all of them tunes, like, and I was thinking, yes, mate, like, yes, like it's sounding wicked. Like the fella, he was maybe a little bit heavier than my styley, you know what I mean? But as long as he sort of like held himself back from breaking into some heavy metal solo or something, it was sounding all right, like, and that, and I thought to myself, yeah, all right, sweet, let's do this. So we carried on rehearsing just in my house, like for a few weeks and that, and we even done a few little sort of acousticy shows, just me and him, like, and yeah, it was all going well and everything was sweet, and yeah, and then basically once me and him had the songs down, you know what I mean, like, then it was time to start searching for the rest of the band, you know what I mean. Now, before I go into all that, let's listen to a track. It's a song that I wrote called Jack the Ripper, and it's one of them songs that didn't make it, if you know what I mean. Like we might have played it at one or two. I think like the Lucky Pig was a place that I used to play with him a fair bit, and I can't even think, but we'd done the workshop in Old Street, yeah, done a few acoustic things in there. But yeah, we so I had this song Jack the Ripper, like, and I've got a recording of it. I'm not even sure what, it's probably the workshop or something, but I will play you that and then we will carry on. This one's called Jack the Ripper.
Rats like dogs running round your feet. The smell from the river gives me a quiver. You better watch your back from Jack the Ripper. Jack's on the lookout for the ladies of the night. Well, you better watch out. Could be your turn tonight. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to like our Facebook page, it's Facebook.com/John Chapman 81. Love ya.
Yes, and that was Jack the Ripper. Me and Paul Hamill at the Lucky Pig. I did say about letting him blow off into big solos, maybe a little bit too big for an acoustic set, but signs of good things to come. Yeah, I've got one more tune, just me and Paul, from the same gig actually at the Lucky Pig. This is like one of the early. This is like probably our first or second gig, like together. Let me get that one out of the way, and then we can go into the rest of the band. Okay, so There's a Reason.
I'm John Chapman. This is Paul Hamill. And this first tune's called There's a Reason. Just close your eyes, man, and see the bed. There's a reason that I'm feeling these feelings that I feel. There's a reason that I'm feeling these feelings for her. Wake up in a place where you're new to keep face. Walk the line and dish up. There she is. You'll never know. There's a reason that I feel these feelings that I feel. There's a reason that I feel these feelings for her. She makes me cry when she's gone. She makes me die, yeah, when she's gone. All her times, what I need, I know she's going to see my grief. There's a reason that I feel these feelings for her. There's a reason that I feel these feelings for her. Cheers.
Okay, so that was me and Paul Hamill at the Lucky Pig playing There's a Reason. Yeah, so I mean, like, so I got this me and him together, you know what I mean, like, and nothing was ever said. Like, he never said to me, "Oh, are we gonna like call ourselves something? Are we gonna be a band or whatever?" It was just, do you know what I mean? Like, where I had all my social media and everything set up around my solo sort of self, and also, like, when you're booking gigs and that, you can say, "Oh, it's John Chapman, you're right, mate," yeah, and they know you are, you know what I mean? Where if you're phone up saying, "Oh, we're the Cosmic Psychopaths," they say, "Right, what do you sound like?" And you're like, "Well, I sound, don't know, what?" And then they're like, "Can you send us in a CD or, well, probably a MP3 dongle or something?" Now they prefer. But back in the day, I do remember sending out CDs to various people to get gigs and stuff. Yeah, so I mean, like, it was just easy, you know what I mean, just to roll on, you know what I mean, and just keep it as John Chapman Band and that. And I always introduced everyone in the bands when I was in the gigs and that. And I always like praised them and stuff, you know what I mean. But yeah, yeah, so basically, so it was me. So it's me and Paul. We're together. We've been rehearsing for a good couple of months or something. Like just like once a week in my mum's front room. You know what I mean? And then so I said to Paul, I said, well, look, we don't want to be doing these acoustic shows forever. You know what I mean? It's time to take it to the next stage. And he said, yeah, yeah, sweet. And I said, all right, so we need to start looking for a drummer, a bass player, and maybe another guitarist, maybe not. Um, so basically, he said, yeah, sweet, all right. He said that he would put some messages up as well to look for people. I don't know if he ever did, but anyway, drummers are so hard to find. It's just a nightmare. So I was searching for just forever. Like he's calling me up. Oh, you found anyone? Whatever. It's like no drummers, no drummers. You know what I mean? I didn't even start looking for a bass player. I was just on the drummer thing. Then in the end, I was like, right, it's not happening. We're not going to find the drummer. So I need to contact one of the drummers that I've played with over the years. You know what I mean? And out of all the drummers I've ever played with, I've got two favourite drummers, and that's Matty Benson, who was in the original Voice the whole way through it with me. You know what I mean? And the other guy is a guy called Sam Talent that I met on the same day that I met my wife 11 or 12 years ago. But yeah, so I basically, Matty's not really in a state to sort of be in a band. Do you know what I mean? He's suffered with mental health quite badly, and do you know what I mean? But he's a lovely geezer. He's just he was a top fella growing up. You know what I mean? And he was a great footballer. Do you know what I mean? He's a good looking geezer as well. You know what I mean? And yeah, he's a top geezer. Do you know what I mean? I'll always be there for Matty. Like, not that I've seen him much recently, or even for the last few years, but I'm here if he needs me, and I hope he knows that. If you listen to this, Matt, I'm here for you, brother. Okay, so that left just Sam, like, because I mean, don't get me wrong, I've played with numerous other drummers, but they was just drummers. Okay, we'll leave it at that. But anyway, yeah, Sam's the other top drummer that do you know what I mean? I basically messaged him, and I laid it on the line, and I said, look, with Sam, I sort of said to him, look, I said, it's like going to be fronted and named by me, like the John Chapman band. Like, so I sort of said to him, like, so you're not really committing 100%, if you know what I mean. Like, come play with us, you know what I mean? If times are hard and you can't, or you want to join a different band or whatever, that's sweet, mate. You do what you need to do, you know what I mean? But until then, you know what I mean? Come and have some fun with us, you know what I mean? Like, play the drums, have some fun. And he was like, yeah, that sounds fair enough. That sounds cool. So I was like, sweet. So that was Sam in the bag, you know what I mean? Like, and then so I've got Sam and Paul saying to me, when are we rehearsing like properly in a studio with a band? And I was like, right, got the drummer, got you, Paul. I said, I'm not going to look for another guitarist, because basically I'm going to play guitar on as many songs as I can. And if there's songs that are too hard for me, then that means that they're heavy songs, I reckon. So that means that you got to beef it up, you and whoever I find to play the bass. I said, give me a week. I was quite confident. Don't know why. Got on Gumtree again and basically messaged about 1 million bass players, got about 4 replies. One of them flaked off very quickly, didn't carry on messaging me. Another one, I met him once and I knew that he wasn't the person, so I sadly said, nah, mate, see you later. Then there was 2 more, and basically went to meet this guy called Matt, and he's going to kill me now if I get this wrong. I think he's from Poland. Yeah, Poland. basically met him and that, and I thought he was a cool geezer, you know what I mean? Like he was all right, man, and basically he sort of agreed to it without even hearing us play. So basically booked up Storm Studios, Holloway Road, and then the four of us turned up, and Des as well. Des was always with us, you know what I mean? He's like basically part of the band. Do you know what I mean? And he'd always been with me like so through the tally. He weren't there the voice, but from the tally onwards, Des was there. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, so basically we I booked this rehearsal, all turned up like in the room, like so basically we're in a room, yeah. Me and Paul know the songs from rehearsing just with me and him. Sam knew half the songs because they're songs that like I've written and I've just kept them, you know what I mean? I'm not going to throw songs away, but that means that Sam had played on a lot of these songs already, like so do you know what I mean? I've got a drummer that's half there, I've got a guitarist that's all the way there, I'm all the way there myself, and then Matt basically, and I can't believe like 2 rehearsals and everyone knew the whole set, you know what I mean? It was unbelievable, it was wicked. Yeah, so basically then, so we've got the 4 of us, we're ready, we're rehearsed and all that, and then everyone's on me again. Where's the gigs? Where's the gigs? So I was like, all right, sweet. I said, I will go and hunt down some gigs. Anyway, I found us our first gig, and I can't even remember where it was, but it was sort of like a tester gig where we didn't invite anyone, you know what I mean? We just went, played, and got the reaction of other people's fans, you know what I mean? Like, and it actually went well, yeah. And so basically after that, I was like, got onto all the promoters I knew, and there was a guy called Nick who had a company called Dead or Alive. I don't know if they're still going. I don't think they are. I don't know. But basically, yeah, got hold of him, and he done a night in a pub in the West End, just basically where Trafalgar Square is. Not Trafalgar Square, sorry, Leicester Square. It's a street called Oxenden Street that's round the back of whatever, yeah. And there's this pub at the bottom of it called the Comedy Pub. And it's a top venue, man. It's wicked. It's like you go into the pub from street level, or you can go down to the basement where the band's play and the music's done, or you can go upstairs and there's like, I don't know whether it's a nightclub or what. But yeah. And basically Nick had been really good to me over my solo days, if you like. And he'd given me lots of gigs in different places, you know what I mean? And I remember like I wanted to play so much that sometimes I used to just call him up, and like nights that were fully booked out, he was like, look, basically I've got a gig going on the workshop, yeah. First band's on 7:30, yeah. If you come down at 6:30, I'll put you on before everyone else starts, you know what I mean? And because I was acoustic and they was bands, it worked out to have a little acoustic warm up before the bands all started hitting in, you know what I mean? And yeah, so he was a top promoter, and he basically said to me, look, I'm doing this night at a comedy pub. Do you want a gig there? Like, he was quite shocked to hear that I'd gone from being acoustic solo to in a band called the John Chapman Band as well. So basically he so I've got this gig at the Comedy, and I've got like, I don't know, 8 songs off of it. So I'm going to go through them now with you. So the first song that I'm going to play is No People No More. And this song is a B-side on my EP, Mr. Zoob. If you want to buy that, get on iTunes store now. It's only a cut. 3 quid, don't know. So yeah, 3 quid. And there's 4 songs on there, including Mr. Zoob about my pal Taib, City Lights, and this live version of No People No More, and another song that I've forgotten the name of. This, like, I think it might be called Sally Joy. Yeah. Um, and I've, yeah. Anyway, that's that. We'll come to uh, EPs and albums at another episode later down the line. Yeah. So basically, this first song is No People No More, and it goes a little bit like this.
Hello, good evening, the comedy. I'm John Chapman. This one's called No People No More.
Yeah, and that's how it started off sounding pretty good, I'd say. Um, yeah, so that was me, Matt, Sam, Paul, all on the comedy stage. Weren't packed out. We had a few people there, weren't packed out. But yeah, it was all right. Yeah, so yeah, let me play a couple of tracks and then we can have a chat. So next in the set was Gullible.
Cheers, thanks a lot. Yeah, this next tune is called Gullible. When the shit is the fan, they've got no plan, they're gullible, follow the leader. When cracks appear beneath their feet, they're gullible, follow the leader. It's just like a computer game, little blue men without no name. They're walking in single file, they're gonna get lost in the wild. Hey! Big red bus, don't walk in the road, you're gullible, follow the leader. It's just like a computer game, little blue men without no name. They're walking in single file, they're gonna get lost in the wild. Hold it! Just like a computer, little blue men without no name. You're walking in single file, gotta get lost in the wild. Hey! They've got no clue, they've got no idea, they're gullible, follow the leader. Thank you!
Nice. That was Gullible. I'm going to play you one more, which is On My Mind, and then I've got a new feature, but we'll talk about that in a second.
This tune's called On My Mind, not anymore. On my mind. She's blown away, not coming back today. Now she's gone, I'm so afraid. Until she gets back, that's when I feel safe.
Nice one. Yes. And that was On My Mind. Not anymore. um, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So basically, I've put together another feature, and this feature is called the Blind Review. And basically, what it is I am going to review anything. I'll say anything because things might change down the line. So I will review anything anyone wants to send me. No. Basically, I'm starting off by reviewing musical equipment that I've got around my studio or whatever, and stuff that I feel is good for blind people. You know what I mean? Like this, like does the job well, but does it easily. You know what I mean? Don't have to do too much of this or too much of that. And yeah. So, but also it's for people that can see as well, because I'm gonna try to do it in a way that everyone enjoys it. You know what I mean? But it just means that blind people can like get involved as well. You know what I mean? Okay, so for this month, I'm reviewing a Boss Effects pedal, and it's called the Blues Driver. And the review went a little bit like this.
It's time for a blind review. Use your hands and let them show you. It's time for a blind review.
Yabba dabba doo. Hey, what's happening, people? Here we go with another new feature. I was thinking about, well, selfishly, because I suppose you'll know that I'm blind now. But when you're looking at reviews and stuff, there's not really any reviews that are pushed in that way. You know what I mean? To sort of be nice to the blind. But yeah, I'm going to do it in a way where you don't have to be blind to enjoy these reviews, but you can be blind and enjoy these reviews. Okay, so obviously I've just started doing this, so nobody sent me no gear to review. So I'm just gonna like pick stuff out of my studio, whatever. Like, you never know what it'll be each month, but here we go. Yeah, so I thought, I was just having a look at some of my stuff and that, and I thought guitar pedals, some of them are very user friendly for blind people. Some of them are very confusing for blind people. Some of them are very confusing for people who can see very well. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so I'd look through my gear, and I just thought, I was looking at my guitar pedals and come across this one, which is an overdrive pedal by the company Boss. Everybody knows this pedal because it's pretty famous, I think. It's called a Blues Driver. And I've got it in my hand right now, and basically it's just simple, yeah, pretty straightforward. I mean, you might need someone to tell you what certain bits and pieces are, but once you know, you know what I mean? Like, so we have got a box, like they're fair sized Boss pedals, like they're quite, like, maybe would have been nicer a little bit smaller, do you know what I mean, so you can get more on your pedal board, but you can't have everything. All right, so I've got it in my hand. Yes, it fits in my hand. It's like a nice little wedge in my hand, do you know what I mean? Wouldn't want to conk someone on the head with it. So not looking, feeling the front of it, yeah. So at the bottom of it, you've got the bit you step on, you know what I mean, to engage and disengage the effect. Then above that, if I'm feeling right, there's 3 pots, Okay, and I've been told already what the pots are, so I will tell you. In the first pot is level, the second pot is tone, and the third pot is gain. Right. Above the tone knob, which is set slightly lower than the other two knobs, there is a little red light that comes on when you engage the pedal. So basically, yeah, it's in my hand. At the bottom, you've got the bit where you step on, and then above that, you've got the three pots. You've got the level pot, which is sort of at the top of the pedal, and then just over from that, but a little bit lower, you've got the tone pot. Then again over from that, but a little bit higher again, which is in line with the level pot, is the gain pot. In between the gain and level pot is where you find the little, well, it's a little bulb or whatever, but yeah, it's the little red light. And then below that is the tone pot. So that's basically it on the front. Like, it's pretty straightforward to remember. Like, yeah, pretty good. And then, so to the left of the pedal, if you run your hand along the side of the pedal, all you feel is an input, and it's a 1/4" jack input. And then on the other side, it's exactly the same. If you run your hand down it, it's just a 1/4" jack input, and that is the input is on the right and the output is on the left, but they're both 1/4" jack. Then if you turn it so the bottom of the pedal is facing you, and you run your hand along it, where the thing you step on is to engage and disengage the pedal. There's like a little round thing where you can unscrew it, and then the bit that you step on lifts up, and then you can put a 9-volt battery in there if you want to. If you turn it round to the top of it, the top bit, the flat bit at the top, there's another input, which is a 9-volt DC. God, forget what it's called. You know what I mean. To put a power supply. Yeah, sorry. There's a 9-volt power supply thing in the top. Obviously, if you're using, you don't have to use the battery. Do you know what I mean? And that's pretty much it. And then on the bottom, there's like a spongy sort of rubbery bit around the outsides of the thing. But I've actually got some Velcro stuck on the bottom, so I can stick it to and pull it off of my pedal board. But yeah, and then that is it basically. The color it's a dark color. I couldn't even tell you what color it is, but yeah. So that is pretty much it. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, that's the top 3 pots, feeling with your fingers, 2 larger pots that are higher up, which are level and gain, and then the tone pot, which is a little bit smaller than the other 2. It's just a bit lower as well. And then above that, if you feel, there's just like the little light bulb. And then on the left, you've got the output jack, and on the right, the input jack. At the bottom, if you feel, just where the where you engage and disengage the pedal, there's like a little round thing, and it's like got like a grippy sort of bit around it, so you can unscrew and screw that back up. But that's where the 9-volt battery goes inside. And then at the top, you've got the power adapter, 9-volt input, and that's it. That is it. Simple as that. So now we will plug it in and have a little muck about with it and see what sounds we can get out of it. Okay, nice one. Okay, so now I've set all the gear up, my sort of little in my studio. We are running from an Epiphone Uptown Cat, the bridge pickup, and we're running into an orange Pedal Baby 100 power amp, and that is plugged into a Sub-Zero 12-inch cab, which I originally bought just because I couldn't afford the Vox cab that I wanted. So I thought I'd just get that to have something for the time being, but it's all right. It ain't done nothing wrong to me, you know what I mean? Okay, so I've got the pedal in front of me. Level, we're going to stick that at 9. Sorry, I'm going to take a second to do this because I can't really feel for the little white line, so I have to sort of really struggly look at it. Okay, so that's at 9, and then the tone is going to be at 9, and which is even harder to see because the little white bit on the small pot is very minute, and like my little tiny bit of vision is just not really helping me. And okay, and boom, we'll whack the gain up to 9 as well. Okay, so we will is that on? Yeah, okay. Right, so the pedal's on. Let's have just a couple of little chords just to see what we got so far with everything at 9 o'clock. Okay. Okay, so that was with everything at 9 o'clock. Okay. I think for blind people, I think you should get them little tactile things that you can buy, well, you can get them on the internet. They're just basically little bobbly stickers that you can stick in places, and I think sticking that where the little white dash is will help you out very much. So, and even if you're fully sighted and also fully drunk, you never know, might help you out too. Okay, so we are going to weft the thing round to 12 o'clock. So I am going to go to 12 with the volume, but I think the volume will stay at 12 because I am in my studio, which is in my mother's house, and she will come up here and beat me with a broom if I make too much noise. All right, so let's whack the L. Okay, so everything at 12. Let's have a little listen to this. Okay, so that was everything at 12 o'clock. I am now going to leave the level at 12 o'clock, and I'm just going to pop the tone round. Sorry, struggling again to see. Yeah, there's not really anything to feel either, actually. Yeah, so there's or sell something that you can stick on the top of these pots that can be better for blind people. But I'm sure there's loads of third-party companies that you can get them sort of things from, you know what I mean? If you go pop into the RNIB in King's Cross, if you're in London. If you're not in London, get on the RNIB's website. I bet they've got stuff there. True. So I've put the tones round at 9 o'clock now, and now the gain is going round, and you can hear that amp is starting to whistle a bit. Okay, so let's see what this sounds like. Okay, so that was with everything round at 12, and then sorry, but I have to leave the level at 12 o'clock. I mean, that was everything at 9 o'clock. Now we're going to max out the tone and the gain, and you can really hear the amp starting to squeal. yeah, let's have this last little. Okay. All right, so I will now roll back that gain because the amp's whistling like a wildy coldy. Yeah, so okay, so that was a small review, like a small checking the old Boss Blues driver out. Yeah, so let me just put the guitar down and we can speak. So. Okay. Yeah, so that was a little checking this Blues driver out. But so let's have a little round up on what I think of it or whatever. I mean, it's the top effect. It's Boss. It's do you know what I mean? It's top. These like some Boss effects can get really complicated. Like I've got quite a few of them, and like when I could see it was sweet as a nut. But then where I've got sort of, I don't know, 15, 20 Boss pedals, you sort of forget where all the controls are, you know what I mean? It's hard to remember so many. But I'm going to say that these 3-pot pedals, especially when there's only one input, one output, you know what I mean? All that stereo and all that mad stuff that you get on the chorus pedals and that is a bit mad. But yeah, this is straightforward. Like it's there, it's in my hand. It is a bit of a wedge, you know what I mean? But I suppose that's quite good, you know what I mean? Like maybe they could like have the bit that you step on light up. That'd be great if that little square would light up, because then you could just like, you know what I mean? It all helps. And the little red light bulb, it's not that bright. I've got some cheaper effects by a company called Donna, and they've got like when you activate them pedals, like their little light is proper bright. Like, but do you know what I mean? But I mean, as far as like someone who can see, this is a great effect. Like the Boss Blues driver, do you know what I mean? It's a great overdrive. And price wise, they're, I don't know, I can't really remember. I bought it such a long time ago. I did try to have a little look on the old interweb to see the prices of them, but I was getting all mad. Like there was a craft version of it now, and like basically I was coming across it from about £75 up to about 200 quid. I wouldn't have paid 200 quid myself, so I know it weren't that expensive when I bought it, but about 150 is my max that I'd go up to for a pedal, I think. So I reckon this was when I bought it about 100 quid, I'd say. But yeah, but as far as someone who can see, yeah, buy it. Go on. You don't need no help. It's great. Someone that can't see, yeah, I mean, if I wanted a slightly smaller pedal because I want to fit more on my board, and do you know what I mean? I like it to be like one small board, you know what I mean, with the 7 effects that I use, and basically the board that I've got, you can only fit 5 Boss effects on it, so they're slightly big for me, but that's probably a good thing for blind people actually, that they are a bit bigger, because you can, you know what I mean, like, but it's like I've got it in my hands, and basically one side of it there's just a jack input, the other side there's just a jack input. Where the pedal bit is, there's a thing that you can unscrew and screw up, and you can do that with your fingers. It's made so you can do it with your fingers. You don't need no screwdrivers or whatever. At the top of it, is the power supply input. As I say, the bit you unscrew, you can unscrew it, put a battery in it, and then there's just straightforward 3 pots, level, tone, gain. They're nice for the fingers. They're not too fiddly or whatever. It's actually a great pedal. Like, yeah. You probably ain't going to be able to, from my silly bit of guitar playing, you're not going to be able to like really get. And obviously, the guitar was recorded. On the amp, I had a Shure SM57, and my the mic that I'm using to talking to is a Behringer B1, but I didn't turn that off while I was doing that. So when you hear the guitar, you're hearing it through the 2 mics at the same time, but you're not gonna get a great hearing of, like, do you know what I mean? You need to go and try it out for yourself, get down the shop, you know what I mean? Whatever amp you've got, hopefully the shop's got a like amp, or just take your amp with you to the shop, you know what I mean? Like, tell them you want to play it with your guitar, your amp, whatever, you know what I mean? Go down Denmark Street, all of the shops down there, they're all helpful, you know what I mean? They'll be happy to let you bring your amp in there and plug it in and stick this thing on it, you know what I mean? But for blind people, yes, these 3 pot pedals that Boss do, they're perfect. They are perfect. Do you know what I mean? Especially if you've got a little board, you only want 4 or 5 of them on the board. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, perfect. So I rate this pedal. Yeah, it's a good pedal for blind and for sighted people. So my verdict on the matter is buy it. Yeah, definitely. It's a good pedal, man. Okay, so that is this month's The Blind review. And next month I will see what other gear I've got sitting about, you know what I mean? Never know, I might see if there's another pedal with another Boss pedal up there in my stash of pedals. But I think that the 3 pot pedals from Boss, I think they're the way forward for someone that's blind, because I mean, the reverb that I got from RV6 or whatever it is, it's got like 4 parts and they're a lot smaller, and then they do a lot more stuff, and there's a lot more stuff to select and all that. And I mean, at the end of the day, it does become quite hard. Do you know what I mean? So I think for simplicity, like this Boss Blue Driver, great overdrive, go and get it, put it on your board. Do you know what I mean? Like, once it's all rigged up and that, you know where you put your guitar in, you know where you put your amp in, you know what I mean? And then you've got these 3 pots that are a good size for your fingers and stuff, you know what I mean? Like, and basically level, tone, gain, you know what I mean? You don't even have to remember that, you know what I mean? If you start playing with the pedal, with the pots, you're going to know straight away what does what, because it's just simple it's there. Do you know what I mean? It's sweet. Yes. I am a big fan of Boss. I like Boss. So nice one. Thanks for listening. And you can get on with the rest of Chapcast now, and I will find something else to review next month. Okay, sweet. Nice one. Okay. Yes, and that is a new feature called the Blind Review. Okay, so let's carry on with the old tunes. Next up is Whiskey Drinking a Cockney Scot.
Yeah, this song's called Whiskey Drinking Cockney Scot. Whiskey drinking Cockney Scot, the mix is where Nice one.
Yes. Okay. You can hear Cook in the background, Mr. John Jones. Go on, chat. Okay, so I'll do you one more, and then it's time for this month's Chappy Q&A. And who did we get this month? Okay, so Coming Down. Yeah. All right, one more tune, Coming Down. Here you go.
This tune's called Coming Down. I think it's a bit early for all that, but we'll give it a go. I haven't even got up yet. Thank you.
Yes. And that was Coming Down. I originally wrote that one with Amon back in the day. Okay, so next up is Chappy Q&A. All right, so I done it the first month. Then it was Richard, my bro. Then it was Rosie. And this month is school friend of mine, lovely geezer, been to various shows that I've played and that, even when I played up in Norwich. Yeah, nice fella. This one's Paul Caffrey. Thank you for doing this, mate. Cheers.
I am Paul Caffrey. I'm a journalist from London who plays the piano and a bit of guitar, and I want to get into writing films. Straight out of William Ellis School, NW5, and Camden, where I first met John Chapman, who I've known since we were both 11. And thank you, John, for having me on the show.
Name your top 5 bands or music acts.
That would be the Rolling Stones, Oasis, Dire Straits, Tina Turner, and Rod Stewart. And I've been to see them all live, apart from Rod. And my last big London gig was Rolling Stones, May 2018, Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park in Stratford.
Name your favourite guitar brand and your favourite amplifier brand.
That is a Gibson Les Paul. Although I only have a replica, I really enjoy how they play. Very nice action on them, very easy to play, very nice guitar. And I like the Marshall amps. So I don't have one myself, but really enjoy playing them if there's any of them around the place.
Name your favourite venue to play at that you have played at.
That is Cecil Sharp House, and it's on Regent's Park Road down there in NW1. And not my usual kind of scene. It's an English folk music and dance venue. But I have a very good memory of performing a folk song there that I composed when I was 17. It was part of a music festival that some of us from last SWAT sixth form was doing. And it was just a really good night and a good memory there, Cecil Sharp House.
Name your favourite venue to go and watch music at.
Wembley Stadium. I've been to lots of concerts there, including the Rolling Stones again when I was 17. That was epic, and the atmosphere in the place is just incredible.
What's your favourite place in the world?
That is down on the South Bank in the heart of our amazing capital city, of course. It's a spot just at Gabriel's Wharf where you can sit on a bench just outside the old This Morning studio with the most perfect view of St. Paul's across the river from you. And that exact bench was actually used in a scene for Love Actually, where Liam Neeson has a conversation with his son, played by Thomas Sangster. That film was out in 2003. I'd actually discovered that place, and it was my favourite little spot before then. So, love that.
What's your favourite alcoholic drink?
A bottle of Heineken at the moment. That's my favourite.
Do you prefer Camden or Islington for a night out?
It's Camden every time for me. Great for music, great for bars, and in my opinion, Camden is life.
For you, is it dogs or cats?
Definitely cats. I have a great connection with cats. I would love to have my own at some point, but maybe when I'm older, I will.
What is your favourite football team?
I don't actually have a favourite club because I don't like the arguments with fans of other teams. And there's always someone who wants to have a pop when you support someone. And it's hard enough supporting your own country, but I've supported England all my life. And so all I can say is, come on, England, get the spirits back up, and maybe we can smash these Euros.
For you, is it tea or coffee?
It's tea every time for me, all day long. Wouldn't drink coffee if you paid me to do it.
Okay, and nice one. And yeah, that was my pal, Paul Caffrey. And I'd just like to say thank you, mate. And thank you to Rosie and thank you to Richard. Yeah, it's nice of you to do this for me. Okay, so I've just realised that we're over an hour already and I've still got quite a bit to get through. So I'm just going to fly through the next couple of tunes and then I will have a chat. Yeah, so the next tune is a song called Blinded by the Way. In this song, it's funny because I make a bit of a mistake at the beginning. I don't know, I come in a bit late, but it just shows you how unprofessional the band are because they couldn't adapt to and realise that I'd come in later than whatever. Doesn't matter anyway, but just thought I'd share it anyway because it's in this list of gig songs I've got. Yeah, have a listen. Nice one.
This tune's called Blinded by the Way. Here we go! Lost blinded in the dark. door that's open. I lost blinded in the dark of the night, but I'm fighting. Can you show me the way that is right, where the lights are shining? I'm still tired and now found the way. It's clear to me how it's played. I sit back in my rocking chair. I'm rocking like I just don't care. I'm still tired and now found the way. It's clear to me how it's played. I sit back in my rocking chair. I'm rocking like I just don't care. One, two, fuck you! I'm still tired and now found the way. It's clear to me how it's played. I sit back in my rocking chair. I'm rocking like I just don't care. I still tired and now found the way. It's clear to me how it's played. I sit back in my rocking chair. I'm rocking like I just don't care. I'm rocking, I'm rocking, I'm rocking, I'm rocking, I'm rocking, I'm rocking, yeah. Rocking, I'm rocking, I'm rocking, I'm rocking, I'm rocking, I'm rocking, yeah. Cheers.
Yeah, and that was Blinded by the Way. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly get through a couple of songs just so we're at the end and then we can have a chat and it's Chap's How and all that good old palaver stuff. Yeah, so next up is Spinal Shiver.
Yeah, this one's called Shiver. The Timbers. This one's for fucking England. She sends shivers down my spine. She is the one I need to find. Yeah, she's the teacher of good and evil. Yes, my brother. Take a look at me. And don't you wanna be here? Take a look at me now. Take a look at me. And don't you wanna be here? Take a look at me now. Well, lady, won't you be my mistress and take me by the hand? Take a look at me. Don't you wanna be here? Take a look at me now. Take a look at me. Don't you wanna be here? Take a look at me now. Shim Shimmer, wanna see? Shim Shimmer, come to me. Shim Shimmer, I wanna see. Shim Shimmer, come to me. Take off your clothes. I wanna see you naked. Des Jones, take off your clothes. Shim Shimmer, I wanna see. Shim Shimmer, come to me. Shim Shimmer, I wanna see. Shim Shimmer, come to me. Shim Shimmer, I wanna see. Shim Shimmer, I wanna see you naked. I wanna see you naked. Shimmer, I wanna see. Shim Shimmer, come to me. Medical, look to the tentacle, that geezer's in need of a miracle. I'll help him, I'll help him, I'll help him. It's crackers. Come. Shim Shimmer, I wanna see. Shim Shimmer, come to me. Shim Shimmer, I wanna see you naked.
Okay, so I've got 2 tunes left and a chap tale, and a little bit of talking. So the next song is the last song from this show at the comedy, and it is a cover tune of a great band called the Beatles. Yeah, it's a cover of their song Get Back. So I'll let you listen to that, and then we'll have a little chat.
Thanks a lot, yeah, this is our last tune. This is a cover song by a band, small band called the Beatles. Yeah, this one's Get Back. Thanks to everyone for coming. Love you all, Cook, Dan, my gorgeous Angie. I love you sometimes, Rich. Des Jones, you're a buddy. See you next time. Jojo was a man who thought he was a loner, but he knew he couldn't last. Jojo left his home in Tucson, Arizona, fighting California grass. Get back, get back, get back to where you once belonged. Get back, get back, get back to where you once belonged. Ow! Mr. Paul Hamill. Get back, get back, get back to where you once belonged. Get back, get back, get back to where you once belonged. Get back, Joe! Thank you. Check us out on Facebook. We love your life. Thanks for listening. Loads of good bands on. Stick around. Love y'all.
Yeah, that I love covering that tune. That is a great song. Yeah. So okay, so that was the comedy, which was like our second or third gig, and it's funny because it was also the start of the end, if you know what I mean. Basically, right, that night, I don't know who he was, some company that was doing this and that. He came over to me and he said, "Look, I can record the gig for you." And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, yeah. And I'll send you all the stems and all that. And for an extra price, I will like mix the gig for you and that, and master it and send it over to you. So I was like, all right, sweet. I said, how much? It was like 50 quid to record the gig, and then like another 30 quid on top of that to for him to mix and master the tunes. So I'm sort of like talking to him and that, and then so I've popped out of the pub to a cash point with my wife and come back, and then so I'm saying to him, all right, sweet, yeah, nice one, I have that done and all that. Like, so I've got the £80 in £10 notes. So I'm like counting them out to him into his hand, and it just looks like there's something going on, you know what I mean? Money changing hands, you know what I mean? And what I don't know is that Paul is sitting across the room and he's watching this going on. And so after I'd paid for it, got another drink, and then I went over to where Paul was sitting, and I was like, "You all right, mate? What's happening? Whatever." And he was like, "So where's my share?" And I was like, "Where's your share of what?" And he's like, "Don't lie to me. I've just seen the guy, the owner of the pub, come and pay you a big wad of notes for tonight's gig." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "You idiot." I was like, I was paying him to record and mix master the gig and send it over to us so we had it. Like, do you know what I mean? And he was like, oh. But it was like, once he'd sort of said that to me, it's like waving a red rag in front of a ball with me, you know what I mean? I was like, yeah, all right, mate, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need all that. Do you know what I mean? If we was getting paid for anything, I would share it out equally between everyone in the band, do you know what I mean? Like, but I'm trying to do something for them, you know what I mean? Paying 80 quid. I didn't ask them lot to chip in. I paid 80 quid for it to happen, and then the guy sent it to me, and like they've all got copies of it or whatever. But yeah, it was quite funny because like Paul sort of like, it was the first time I'd seen him sort of like, I don't know, he's like having a pop at me, like thinking that I'm earning money off the gig and not telling them about it. But yeah, so that started leading to more things going wrong between me and Paul, you know what I mean? And like really, even though Sam is a great drummer and Matt was a great bass player, as long as I had Paul, we could always take the band forward, do you know what I mean? Because like me, him and the two guitars was what was needed, if you know what I mean. And then so I mean, after that happened, it's like, I mean, I think we only played like 8 gigs in total, do you know what I mean? Like, and I think that was like the second or third gig. But then it was like, there was another gig we played in Hoxton Square at the Underbelly. And I remember like, it was some weeknight, I can't remember, Tuesday or something. And like no one else in the band used to invite people to the gigs, you know what I mean? It was just me, like, but I used to take that on the shoulders because the band was called the John Chapman Band, you know what I mean? So I felt like I had to make more effort and all that. And this one night, it was a Tuesday night, and like most of my pals were like just starting their week's work, and You know what I mean? Tuesday night's not a good night. You know what I mean? Like Thursday, they might think, oh God, and then I only have to like slum it one day at work or whatever. But yeah, so we're on stage like, and literally we got 15 people there, and the band that was on after us, I don't know, for some reason, the band and all their fans stood upstairs on Oxton Square. I think it was in the summer as well. Yeah, probably why, you know what I mean? Like, but they stood outside, so their fans never came down. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then the 15 people that had made the effort to come there, you know what I mean, pay to get in and be there for me. You know what I mean? Like, I really appreciate it. You know what I mean? It's amazing. Like, I will play to one man. Do you know what I mean? Let alone 15. But so we're on stage and we're about to start the gig, and then Paul's gone up to his mic and said, "Bloody hell, I prefer to play to one man and his dog than this." And like, it's like the 15 people that have made the effort, like he's just mugged them right off. Just like that, you know what I mean? And I sort of looked at him, and then I walked over to him and I unplugged his mic, and I just said to Matt, well, he didn't really do backing vocals, Paul, anyway, you know what I mean? He done a bit of swearing, and do you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, so that was the start of the decline. All right, so I've got another version of Blinded by the Way. I think I sing this one correctly. But let me I'll play that to you. We'll have a little chat, then we'll do the chapped out, and then that's the end. All right, nice one.
Every day can't find the way that it's meant to be. I've been shown before, but I can't find the door. It's open. Oh, I'm blinded in the dark, but now I couldn't find it. And can you show me the way that it's right, where the lights are shining? What's the time? It's clear to me how it's played. I'll sit back in my rocking chair. I'm rocking like I just don't care. I still tell all the way. It's clear to me how it's played. I'll sit back in my rocking chair. I'm rocking like I just don't care. So
and that was Blinded by the Way at the Buffalo Bar in Highbury. Yeah, so sadly, that was our last gig. And basically, it's mental, right? We've sound checked and all that. First of all, Paul don't bring his amp with him, so he has to go through the PA. And it might sound all right to people in the crowd, but when you're on stage, it's nice to have an amp, you know what I mean, pushing behind you, you know what I mean? So that's already giving me a little bit of the amp, right? Then it's all that I spoke about a promoter called Nick, who's Dead or Alive. I mean, his company's called Dead or Alive. Well, I don't actually know where he is either. But anyway, like, so one of my pals come over to me and they're like smiling, like a bit laughing. I was like, what's up? It's like, your guitarist is a bit of a nutter, isn't he? And I was like, why? And they went, well, he's over there with a promoter telling him how you wouldn't let the band have a band name and it had to be called John Chapman, and he's fed up with it and all that. Well, I mean, that was it. Like, there was a few things that had happened over the last couple of gigs or whatever, and that was it. Couldn't handle it anymore. So I walked over to where they were standing, like, and I said, what are you saying to Paul? Like, and basically he's like, oh, what? And basically, yeah, we had a bit of a fight, and I threw him on the floor, and it was so funny because he hit the floor, but he had a pint of beer in his hand, and I'll tell you what, he was protecting that pint of beer no matter what. He's laying on the floor and he's got it upright and he's like just happy, like. And well, by this time I'm so angry I would have just gone and stamped all over his face. But when you're blind, it's hard to find people that are on a dark floor. And also I had my wife pulling me away and my brother and that by this time. So I just couldn't believe, like, I don't know, I just fell out of him big time, you know what I mean? Like, and this is before we've gone on stage, like, and so we're sitting there and Sam and Matt are saying to me, like, what's happening? Do you need us or should we just go? Like, and I was like, no, we're going to play. And he said, what, without Paul? And I was like, yeah. We'll just, you two play a bit softer and we'll just do like an acoustic key sort of version of the songs. And they was like, okay. And then me and Paul sort of got close to each other again and that, and I sort of apologised to him for losing it a bit. But I said to him that, do you know what I mean? If he did want to be in a proper band, then I would have accepted that and we could have made a band out of it, you know what I mean? And I said, we still can, you know what I mean? Like, in my head, I was thinking that this is over though. But I had like 20 people waiting to see me on stage, you know what I mean? So I didn't want to let anyone down, you know what I mean? So I sort of said to Paul, look, we can sort this out or whatever. In my head, I was thinking, this is it though. But so Paul agreed to sort of stick around and play the gig. So we went on stage, we played the gig, and then like he went to the bar thinking I was going to come over and have a drink and talk to him, but me and my wife just walked out the door and left. Me, my wife, and my Tanglewood acoustic guitar. Yeah, so that was the end of the John Chapman band, because I stayed friends with both Matt and Sam, you know what I mean? I'm still friends with Sam now, you know what I mean? But Matt, I'm not too sure what happened with him. Yeah, after he left, after the Chapman band sort of dispersed, yeah, I didn't see Matt anymore, you know what I mean? Until actually, yeah, he does come back into my life, but that's for a later episode. Yeah, but yeah, so that was the end of that, and I never saw Paul again, and it's a shame because he was a great guitarist, and I think that if we properly sat down and sort of like got him to play a bit softer in places, you know what I mean, we could have made a great little band. Do you know what I mean? Like, but it weren't to be. Okay, so I have got a chap tale for you all, and that is what is coming up next. Chap tales. Don't you wanna hear some chap tales? Yes, yes, yes. Hello, people. How you doing? How you doing? Okay, so yeah, chap tales. Here we go. Phil reminded me of last month's story, and also he reminded me of this month's story. Yeah, so I'll take you back. This is back in the good stage of the voice. This is just before Spiros had joined the band. So basically, it was me, lead vocals, bit of rhythm guitar. Phil was on lead guitar, backing vocals. James Till was on bass guitar, backing vocals, and Matty Benson was on the pots and pans. Yeah, so I mean, it when us lot started to form this unit that become the great part of the voice, like we used to just like hang out with each other all the time, and it was just a right laugh, you know what I mean, all the time. And I remember I used to work for this printing firm, like printing, I don't know, like plans for building firms and stuff like that, like massive AO and A1 size and that. And basically, we was in a band gigging, all that. So like a couple of weeks before each gig or whatever, I would print off a load of AO size flyers, basically, advertising the gigs and that. And then we would like go out all together and basically plaster these flyers where you shouldn't, you know what I mean? But back in them days, you didn't really get into trouble for it as much. You probably would now. But anyway, this one night in particular, we're in James's red Ford Sierra. So James is driving, I'm sitting next to him in the front, and then in the back you've got Phil and Matt. And I can't remember where we'd been, but we'd been all over London, really, trying to put these posters up that probably didn't help out at all. But you know what I mean? It's putting the effort in and all that. So I think James is just driving us home, like, so everyone's still in the car because he was like probably would have dropped off Matty, then me, then he dropped Phil off, and then he'd go home. But anyway, Market Road is, well, I don't really know now if it still is, but it was a bit of a red light district in the day, you know what I mean? Like where you could go and meet ladies of the night. And also like it's right next to the football pitches, the Market Road AstroTurf football pitches, where I've played a lot of games for my school and for Ingester United. Yeah, back when I could see the ball. Yeah, so anyway, this night, like, so we're just going onto Market Road, like coming up to where the football pitches start and whatever. And like we used to have a right laugh, and like I'd have the window open, and as we like drive past one of the ladies of the night or whatever, I'd like go, "Whoa, boy!" and try and scare them. Like, but anyway, so this night we're just got onto Market Road, like from the Cali end, and then we're driving along, and I spied out my eye one of the ladies of the night, and she had a fella who had a car, but he was actually out of the car speaking to her. So I thought that he was like, 'cause he was in like just normal clobber, you know what I mean? Like, so I thought that he was like trying to score with this lady of the night or whatever, talking prices. But so as we got close, my classic was to like put the window down, and as we was really close to him, it was like, "Whoa, boy!" And Anyway, this fella, he nearly fell over. Like, I made him jump so much, yeah. So we're carrying on. We're all laughing to ourselves, but then we realise that he's jumped into his motor and he's flying behind us, like after us. So James is like, "Oh fuck!" So I was like, "Put your foot down, man. Let's get out of here." Like, so we're flying down. Like, when you get to End of Market Road, there's like a little mini roundabout. We chucked a right onto like the road that leads down like to Leighton Road, past Toriano and that, like, and it crosses Camden Road. But we're flying, like, and he ain't giving up, this fella, like. But so I said to him, just keep going when we get to Ingester, like, because I didn't know whether the car was full of a load of geezers and they wanted to batter us or what, man. But I just said, get to Ingester, and when we get there, like, there's bound to be a load of our pals there, you know what I mean? So we flew all the way down into Ingester, all the way down to the bottom where whereabouts I lived, and we flew into the garage, and this car's trailing us the whole way. He's flew in behind us, and then, like, so we're stationary now, and he's coming to the garage, pulled up behind us, like, and we're like looking out the back window and that, and we can see that there's two fellas in the car, like. So he's jumped out of the car and he's gone running up to James's window. And he's saying, unwind your window. So James has put his window down and gone, sorry, mate, what's up? Turns out this fella's old Bill, innit? Oh, my God. He's, like, screaming at us, like, oh, what you doing? And I'm apologising, and Phil and Matty are probably under the seats by now, hiding. But luckily enough, nothing came of it, just a telling off or whatever, like, and then they left and went on with their business or whatever. But it was just like, when it was happening, it was so funny because it happened so quick. Like, we're on Market Road, and then it's like, whoa, boy, out the window, and then like you see the geezer like jump basically, like, and then flipping. We're looking at the back, and you can see them following us, and then they just won't give up, you know what I mean? And we're hitting green lights everywhere as well, so it's like we weren't ever stopping, you know what I mean? Like, and I thought we'd get rid of them, you know what I mean? But no, they followed us right into Ingester, right down to the bottom, into the garage, you know what I mean? Like, and then he's jumped out of the motor, and come up to James's window, and I thought, here we go, like, and just our luck as well, there weren't no one about in Ingester either, so if it was a load of fellas like who was wanting to have it, you know what I mean, we would have been a bit, but yeah, it was funny, you know what I mean? I'm glad that the policeman didn't want to take it any further. I don't know if he could have took it any further, you know what I mean? There weren't no proof. But he gave us a good telling off, I'll tell you that. And then he like flew off in his motor, like, and the minute they was like gone, we was in stitches. Like, the four of us in the car was cracking up. But yeah, that used to happen quite a bit. But yeah, I just thought that was like a little funny one. And also, like, Phil reminded me of that story after, like, I've done last month's episode's not even up yet. But yeah, so it was really funny, like, and yeah, thank you, Phil, for reminding me of that one, mate. After getting back on the blower, because he only reminded me of two stories, but or I'll get someone else to do next month's. But yeah, sweet, nice one. Thanks for listening. Cheers.
Chapcast.
Okay, and that was another Chap Tale. This was meant to be the end, but I found another track from that comedy gig that I forgot to put up. And I thought I'd better do it because it's a great song. It's Mr. Who, and also it's featuring my brother Richard. So I'm going to stick that up for you to hear, and then that's the end, and I will see you all never. I will talk to you on YouTube next month. No, nice one. Thank you for all listening if you've listened, and sweet, nice one.
Yeah, Rich, you want to come and join us for Mr. Who, mate? Yo. This one's called Mr. Who. Mr. Happy and Mr. Sad, two of a kind played in different hands. As good as it gets and as bad as the rest. No time to lose if you're gonna be the best. Take me high above the rest. I wanna fly to be the best. Take me high and let me go. I wanna fly all alone. Mr. Good. Mr. Good, Mr. Evil, I know exactly how you feel. Hands up, there's no time to lose. The life we live is the life we choose. And take me high above the rest. I wanna fly to be the best. Take me high and let me go. I wanna fly all alone. So take me high, oh, take me high, oh, take me high, oh, so take me high, oh, one, two, Mr. Take me high above the rest. I wanna fly to be the best. Take me high, let me go. I wanna fly all alone, all alone, all alone, all alone, all alone. Thank you, Richard.